Welcome back to Cossy Arsenal Podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. The January transfer window is almost upon us, and Arsenal already in the market. We can confirm that Arsenal will be going for a midfielder as the major target in January. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. I thought it was going to be a striker. We all thought it was going to be a striker, but it's going to be a midfielder. According to SR Collins, according to Fabrizio Romano, it's going to be a midfielder that Arsenal look at. And in this video, I want us to dive into how exactly Arsenal would line up with Palahinha, a player that I think really makes a lot of sense as a signing, but many people really do not understand either. Why do Arsenal want to sign Palahinha, another defensive midfielder who would actually be very costly after signing Declan Rice for 100 million in the summer? So hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well, sit down in the comment box below, talk to me. What is your rating of Palahinha? You know, look, he's been at Fulham for I think now this is the second season, and he is absolutely immense. He's really, really a good ball winner, a very good midfielder. I think he's very, very, very physically built for the Premier League. I think he's really intelligent as well. And his age bracket, 28, 29, that is where you get the pedigree. That's where you get the kind of experience that Mikel Arteta really loves when it comes to signing players in the Premier League. So talk to me about Palahinha. Arsenal really wants him. Fabrizio Romano said that Arsenal looking at him. If we cannot get Douglas Luiz, and of course we've seen some other big details from Florian Plettenberg saying that Arsenal are interested and Bayern are interested in Palahinha to bring Palahinha to their sides in January. Now, I have a problem with Palahinha, and we'll talk about it. But this guy, the way you look at him on your screen, he's absolutely a gem in midfield. I think I would rank him in the top five defensive midfielders in the Premier League right now, in terms of quality and in terms of consistency, in terms of what he's providing his team with. I think Rice is up there, Rodri is up there as well. I would say I think Bissouma has been really good this campaign. I'd consider him, but Palahinha is top 5. But Arsenal going for Palahinha in January makes little sense. If we were going for him in the summer, that would really be understandable, right? But in January, with the possibility that Thomas Partey will be back after AFCON, or even he could miss the AFCON, it depends on how the injury will actually turn out. But we will have Thomas Partey back later on after January. Why would we rush to go and sign another defensive midfielder? Why not focus probably on a game changer, on a central midfielder, on an attacking midfielder, or even a striker, an area where we feel it's actually really, really demanding? And this is why. This is why I think Mikel Arteta has decided to go for Palahinha. This is why I think he's decided to go for a defensive midfielder. If you have Declan Rice playing as your DM, if we lost him today, if we lost him right now, this Arsenal team would definitely crumble, would definitely collapse. So you need a player who's as capable as Declan Rice. And that player, for me, if you talk about Palahinha, if you talk about Douglas Luiz, those two players have got the quality. Those two players have got to have got that kind of standard to replace Declan Rice, and everything will be absolutely all right. So that is the first thing Mikel is looking at here. Can I replace Declan Rice with enough quality? With all due respect to Jorginho and Mohamed Elneny, they are not the quality to replace Declan Rice. If Rice picked up an injury and we have Bayern on Tuesday, would you be confident in Elneny? Would you be confident in Jorginho? Probably not. And most definitely not as well. But then there is another theory, a second theory, and that theory is the Thomas Partey out theory. I think Thomas Partey, however much he's been an integral part of this Arsenal team ever since joining us, I think is one of the remarkable signings, one of the remarkable players we'll always talk about when it comes to, you know, Arsenal building itself to the level where we are now and the Arsenal we know today. It started with the signing of Partey. It started with the signing of a decent defensive midfielder, and he's done it all. I think injuries have actually done him a little bit bad, but he's a good player and he's been a very, very successful player at Arsenal. However, I don't think Thomas Partey is reliable anymore, and I think Mikel Arteta will be considering selling Partey in the summer. There are no two ways about it. You either keep him or you sell him, right? He's inconsistent. He's very injury prone right now. And I don't think the amount of time he's spending on the sidelines is actually benefiting Arsenal in any way, shape or form. huge wages, injury prone, you've got to move him on, right? Eventually, he was going to go. He's around 29, 30 right now. So eventually, he was going to go. He was going to move on. And if you want that kind of experience, if you want to replace him almost like for like, then Palahinha is such a good player. So those are the two reasons I can think of why Arsenal want to sign Palahinha quickly in January, and probably also to fend off some interest from clubs that would actually try to sign him in the summer. So the question is, how would we set up with Palahinha, right? Because he is a starter at Fulham. He's a player that is closely wanted by Bayern. He's a player that really is attracting a lot of, interest from great clubs. Like Man United could do with the Palahinha. Bayern, I don't know if they really could do with the Palahinha, but him and Kimmich, that would be like a real fire midfield, in my opinion. And definitely, there's so many other big clubs out there that Palahinha would fit into. So if you're signing him in January, it means you're not going to make him sit on the bench. You're actually going to give him some game time, at least some guaranteed game time. And this is what I'm thinking about. This is my theory. First, I think it's as simple as this. Declan Rice has already shown signs of being one of the best ball winners, even when he's come at Arsenal, even when he's at a team where we have a lot of possession, where he doesn't have to be, on the losing end or on the chasing end of the ball a lot of the time. He's still one of the best ball winners in the Premier League. So for him to be, that good, I think Mikel can consider playing him as a CM. And we've seen him play as a CM on a couple of occasions, especially when Jorginho started together with him and Odegaard. We have seen him play in that central midfield position where Kai plays, in that pocket of space on the left-hand side. So I'm thinking Mikel wants to consolidate his midfield, and he would prefer to have a player like Palahinha, who is also creative as well, not as creative or not as an attacking threat as many people actually hyping him at the moment, because we are linked with him. But you would rather have him in that defensive midfield position, and then you push Declan Rice further forward. Now, the thinking behind this is that Declan Rice can give you what a player like Kai and Xhaka would give you, and Palahinha, because Arsenal are not always on the back foot. Palahinha can dictate the tempo of the game together with Declan Rice, but then he can also do the ball winning, which Declan Rice has been tasked with. I think we have one ball winner in the side, in that midfield, and that player is Declan Rice. I think Kai has done well in terms of being physical, in terms of getting up to the task, but the big player that I think really we look at when it comes to winning the ball back is Declan Rice. So Palahinha would actually solve that problem, and that is the first way I think Arsenal would actually set up with Palahinha. With him at the base of the midfield, Declan Rice getting that extra bit of license to go forward, and of course Martin Odegaard would become more like a number 10, because when you have Declan Rice and Palahinha, Rice with his dribbling becomes the number 8, and then you can play a traditional number role for Martin Odegaard. And don't forget, we have seen Kai Havertz already playing that traditional number 10 role. So we might have Odegaard and Kai Havertz swapping each other out in that number 10 role, which they can actually do very well, and Kai can also score as many goals as Martin Odegaard. We have already established that now. Okay, so let's get to the next one. That is the first way I think we will set up with Palahinha, and I don't have a problem with this. It helps us control games better. It helps us, I don't think it really helps us create more chances, but it helps us have a dedicated number 10 in Martin Odegaard. And when we sign a striker like Osimhen or Ivan Toney, they will need service. Like, forget Gabriel Jesus, forget Edin Ketia. All these strikers are thriving at Arsenal, and I'm going to use the word thriving, even without good service, even without decent service. I don't remember the last time Gabriel Jesus was there and he had very, very good service, right? So when you get a good number 9, like we want to, you will have to have a number 10 that is dedicated, a job description dedicated to the service of your number 10. So I think Joao Palahinha can help Mikel Arteta establish this. But then there are also a couple of other ways that I think Joao Palahinha can actually line up at this Arsenal side. So this is number one, like I said, Rice in the 8, and then Odegaard coming into the 10. Of course, those two pockets of space, like we always do line up. Now, the other way we can line up with him is with Declan Rice out of the starting 11. And this is very, very crucial. If I bring Kai in the team, right there, and then Odegaard in the left, right 8, Joao Palahinha can actually give you, I think, 90% ball-winning ability of Declan Rice. He can actually give you that kind of quality. I think the question would be, does he have the extra ball-winning, qualities that a player like Declan Rice gives you? And that would be a massive ask. Now, he passes the ball very well. He advances the ball into, deeper areas very well. Has he got that ability to find those, tricky passes like Rice, to find those quality passes? He's done it before. He's assisted before, but his assist numbers are very low, and his, goals and goal attempts are very, very low. Like, he's not the clutch player Rice is. Now, he did score an equalizer late on for Fulham against Arsenal. So that is clutch, right? That is clutch. And he's hit a couple of them outside the penalty area. And Arsenal need that as well. You need a guy that can, hit them accurately from outside the penalty area. But is he going to score you those clutch goals we're seeing from Declan Rice? Does he have the skill, the bravery to go in the penalty area 97, 98 minutes and deliver? I still think Declan Rice is still a much better player. But this is for when we do not have Declan, right? So you can easily play Joao Palahinha at the best of the midfield, Kai Havertz or Fabio Vieira or Leandro Trossard, and then Martin Odegaard in front of him, and then it would actually work wonders. Also, that means that Arsenal have the license to let go of Thomas Partey, who I think January is going to be his last market at Arsenal, or maybe the summer. It's either January or in the summer. I don't expect him to be at Arsenal further than that. It's going to be the next 6 months for Thomas Partey about finding a suitable club, finding a club where he can go. I don't think at Arsenal it's working out. Now, interestingly, this is how Joao Palahinha could also set up with Declan Rice in the side. So we have seen him play alongside Harrison Reed at Fulham. We have also seen him play alongside Tom Kane at Liv as well, at Fulham as well. So what that has done, it has created him as a number 8, kind of a B2B. And this is a role that many people don't envision him in. This is a role that many people don't actually really attribute him. But he's played there, and he's actually played there very, very well. So Declan Rice would continue his job of winning the ball back and doing all this, nice stuff on the ball and off the ball. And then Joao Palahinha would have the responsibility to be driving the ball from deeper areas into advanced areas. Now, if we're signing him for this, I do have a problem. Why? Because I think we have a really huge number of players in that position. Zinchenko can do that if you wanted him to. Kai is doing it very well now. Leandro Trossard is not doing it very well, but we know that if we give him time, he can actually do it. Fabio Vieira will be back very soon, and Emil Smith-Rowe needs game time, and he can also do that. So I wouldn't really prefer him as a box-to-box because we have so many players, but I would understand why Mikel Arteta, again, would go for a player like Joao Palahinha there. Defensive insurance, right? He has to ensure that when we are in possession, we will stay in position, and when we are out of position, we can easily win the ball back and progress at a quicker rate and even faster rate as well. So again, Joao Palahinha in there, not bad of an idea, but I would prefer him as a defensive midfielder. I would really, really want him to play in this role here, defensive midfield. Declan Rice box to box. That's where I would love him to. That is where I would love him to be. But I want your thoughts there, guys, on Joao Palahinha. What are we thinking about this kind of signing, right? Not a bad one. Very different from Douglas Luiz. I think with Dougie Luiz, what he does is kind of stabilize the midfield, more like of a Jorginho, stabilize the midfield. Will steal the ball, will win you the ball back on a couple of occasions, but his strength is in the accuracy of his passing so that you don't lose the ball. Again, on both sides, Arsenal will focus on the midfielder. But we are looking at all these midfielders that we want. Palahinha, Douglas Luiz, it's more of a defensive midfielder. It's not an attacking midfielder. And that is where my worry is. I would have preferred Arsenal to go to the market and sign, like, I don't know, Julian Brandt, that kind of quality, Marco Reyes, that kind of quality. I would love a player who's clutch. I would love a player who's a dangerous substitute. I would love a player who is going to change games like Leandro Trossard was doing when he had actually just come in last January. That kind of player. But this time in midfield. That is the kind of player I want. And I will do my list of players that Arsenal should be signing in January. I think I will. But Palahinha, not a bad one. I think it's a nice shout. But it's one that just doesn't, hit me the right way. I can't find a reason why Arsenal, of all players, of all midfielders on the market, have decided to go for a guy who's going to turn 29 very soon. And yeah, in January. It does kind of consolidate our defensive record, which actually makes it better. But I'm not really convinced. I'm not really there. I'm not really there at that point where I feel Palahinha is the right signing, right? But him and Declan Rice, it would be nice. Like, it would be really, really good. But I want your thoughts. We'll be talking about Palahinha more on the podcast. Douglas Luiz as well, more on the podcast. I'll see you right very, very soon.